Hi, Tim Sales here. In this series of videos, I'm talking about what prevents somebody from becoming a rep. And in this particular video, I'm going to be talking about competency as power and knowledge as potential. And I'm going to show you something that's absolutely stunning that is in the Boy Scout Handbook in 1911. So what was required of a 12 to 16-year-old boy in 1911, right? So all of this came about because a friend of mine handed me this book, all right? And I started thumbing through it and reading it and what it takes to get a merit badge and various different things. And I'll explain what a merit badge is, but it's utterly shocking. I was in the Cub Scouts, that picture. I was in the Boy Scouts as well, but I didn't have a picture of it. I don't know, I think I'm like 8 years old or 9 years old or something like that there. And it was an incredible experience for me. It got me out and into the woods and learning things and such. And of course, that wasn't in 1911. And that's why I'm so impressed with what I see. And then I'm going to wrap it around having to do with competency in network marketing. So let me just create the division here. If you are competent, you have the skills, abilities, or experience necessary to do it well. What's it? Whatever it is that you're competent in. Knowledge is information and understanding about a subject which a person has. That's the difference between knowledge and competency, okay? So, what is the purpose of the Boy Scouts in 1911? I absolutely love this. I wrote it verbatim. The aim of the Boy Scouts is to supplement the various existing educational agencies and to promote the ability in boys to do things for themselves and others. All right, and these are some of the examples, but Scout Craft, in other words, these are the basics that they had to learn. Scout Craft includes instruction in first aid, life-saving, tracking, like as in tracking animals, signaling, cycling, nature, seamanship, which has to do with boats, campcraft, in other words, when you're setting up camp and things like that, woodcraft, chivalry, patriotism, and other subjects. Okay? I believe that that's what built America, right? Like it's a very, very large organization and very popular at when I was a kid, and so I can just imagine that it was back then as well. So let me just kind of walk you through a little bit. And so, you start out as a tenderfoot, and it was very, very easy to advance to the next one, but you had a small requirement. You had to memorize 3 lines. And then second class scout, first class scout, merit badges required. Okay, so once you got here, in order to advance, you needed to have merit badges. And then a Life Scout, Star Scout, Eagle Scout, and those are really held up in high regard. 23 merit badges minimum, okay? And then an award, honor medal, that is that if you save a life or something similar, okay? So, all right. So there's 120 different merit badges today. I don't know what the total was back then, but it covers stuff like wilderness survival, wood carving, woodwork, weather, swimming, small boat sailing, rifle shooting, radio, pathfinding, like finding your way in the woods and such, leatherwork, gardening, fishing, etc. Okay, so this just kind of gives you an idea about what they are and were training boys at that time. Now, to give you an idea, handicraft, okay? In other words, you're valuable around a house. Prove competence in each item to attain the merit badge. Now remember, this is like 12 years old. Be able to paint a door, whitewash a ceiling, repair gas fittings, sash lines, windows, and door fastenings. In other words, the sash line is the trim around the windows. Replace gas mantles, washers, and electric light bulbs. Solder, hang pictures and curtains, repair blinds, fix curtains, portiere rods, those are called curtain rods now, blind fixtures, lay carpets, and mend clothing and upholstery. All right. That's, I can't even fathom. I've got a 10-year-old son, and that he's not quite up to par, but he's going to be. Number 10, repair furniture in China. Not the country, the glassware. Sharpen knives, repair gates, fix screens on windows and doors. Okay, so now you get a flavor that they had to be competent and prove each one of these items in order to get that merit badge. And so it was a real competency test. It was not a knowledge test. So I did a little bit of a comparison, and I just want to walk you through this. And so this is shooting a bow, an arrow, and these were the targets. And the center, the way they scored them is a 10-point score, which is if it hit in the yellow, then you got 10 points for that arrow. And then if you hit on the red, it was 9 points and 8 points and 7 and so forth, right? So if it hit the white, you at least get 1 point. So the first step is you had to make a bow, and you had to make arrows, which will shoot a distance of 100 feet with a fair precision. So that was step one. Make a total score of 350 with 60 shots. And so in other words, you would have to hit it inside of there at 40 yards away, which is a pretty good distance on a longbow instead of a compound bow that we have today. Make a total score of 300 with 72 arrows at 50 yards. Shoot so far and fast as to have 6 arrows in the air at once. 6 arrows. All right, so me and my videographer were talking about this before, and I've got bows and such, and so I've got some for my boys as well. And so we were trying to shoot 2 arrows. Couldn't do it. Right? In other words, that kind of like gives you an idea of the competency you would have to have in order to pull 6 arrows out and shoot it while the first one is still in the air. All right. So that was quite a competency test. All right. So basically, before I do a comparison, I just want to tell you that I'm impressed with any scout who is able to attain a merit badge. All right. Like, period. They're out there. They're doing it. They're trying. They're, just like anybody in network marketing, never criticism. I don't ever view it that way. Okay. So here is 2021 Boy Scouts in terms of archery. Repair an arrow. Okay. So you didn't have to make an arrow. You didn't have to make a bow. Shoot 150 score with 30 shots at 10 yards. So what is the difference? You didn't have to build a bow and arrow versus repairing an arrow. 132 arrows shot versus 30. Okay, so why is that a big deal? It's the fatigue factor. So if you shoot and in other words, you're drawing that back 100 times, 102 times more, then you're going to get fatigued. And it's harder when you're aiming to keep it straight. Right? And to not have it like going like this the whole time. And then 40 to 50 yards versus 10 yards. Okay. So it's, you have to adjust for the arrow drop by somewhat guesstimating up in order to have the arrow land where you wanted it to. All right. And then far and fast versus no speed requirement. So that's the difference in it. And I really just wanted to show a contrast between 1911 and now. Okay. That's what the main reason I did that. The angling merit badge is also quite different. So in other words, catching fish. In 1911, catch, name, and cook 10 different species of fish. No preferred food of each species. In 2021, catch or buy 1 fish and cook it. Okay, so that's a lot different. And if you'll notice in that is that the requirement is lower. Okay, and so that's going to build that amount. Okay, let me make sure this is one of the main points I'm trying to make here, is that when the requirements are low, then the competency is going to be low or lower. Does that make sense? Because it's going to be very, very important, especially as I move out of this series of videos and I move over into training, and people are always trying to, quote, dumb it down for the average person. And I think that is a mistake, because you're not requiring them to step up, okay? Competency was a part of the culture in 1911. And I feel as though that right now, the culture is make it as simple as possible. The truth is, anyone at any age can become competent. And so I'm not going to, be one of those things. It ain't like it used to be. I'm not that person. I'm the person who says, oh, no. Anyone at any age can become competent. It doesn't take time. That's what people say. We don't have time for that. The average person's part-time, the person blah, blah, blah. No, it takes reps. Okay, it doesn't take time to work out. It takes reps. Okay, it doesn't take time to get fit. It takes reps. And that's the difference. In other words, the number of repetitions that you do in the pipeline. That's what I'm talking about. And don't shy away from helping a person become competent. It's the greatest thing that you can do, just like with your kids. It's the greatest thing you can do to teach them how to brush their teeth and take care of themselves and clip their fingernails, right? It's like getting them competent gives them confidence. And then you move to clothes, how to put your clothes on, how to put your belt on, how to fold your clothes, how to put them away, right? And then you move outside of that, and then you move them into learning how to wash dishes and learning how to, do things and take care of themselves, because that is what's really going to matter with them, because their confidence is connected to their ability to do something. And if the only thing that they can do is move their thumbs on the switch or the game console, then they're confident in that, but that's all they're confident in. So in network marketing, what you as the leader needs to do first is prove competency by doing the pipeline. And sometimes I talk to leaders and it bows their back to think about doing this, right? Because they haven't done it in a long time or something. And I just say, hey, it's going to bow your back, right? In other words, it's a lot of, like they view it like it's a lot of effort. But I say, man, you're just going to be so much better, because your ability to train has everything to do with your competency in it, because you will learn it. If you've never ridden a bicycle and you're trying to teach a kid to ride a bicycle, it's not about pedals. It's about balance, right? And you only know that wobbly feeling. You don't know that unless you've done that. And it's the same thing here. And so if you're not familiar with it, this is what everybody has to do in every business in the world. It's the primary thing. It's how I got my wife. I generated a lead. I contacted her. I set an appointment to go to dinner. I followed up, and then I kept following up for years. And then she became my wife. And every customer that's acquired in any business in the world has to do this. Every doctor has to do this, or somebody in the doctor's office has to do this. So this is everything. And so get good at this, because it will make you far better at helping people to have that competency in it. So let me know what you think about this. And also, let me know what you think about that. Is any of you Boy Scouts or Girl Scouts? And how was that experience? Do you remember it? Things like that. So thank you so much for watching. Do comment down below. I want to see it. And also, if you haven't subscribed, you might think of doing so. Thanks.